Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, above all things, I want to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Radash, from the prophets in Babylon out of the Waco, Texas camp, affiliated with the branch of prophets in Babylon, Tampa Bay, Florida. I'm your brother Athiat. I like to give a special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. May the blessing of election be upon your household, on you sincere brothers and you few sisters out there that listen. Take heed. The lesson for the day is the pride of these of the women here will be, greatly taken down. And I may change the title, but it's really pertains to women's pride. And Lord willing, again, I hope and pray that this will be an edifying lesson to you brothers and you few sisters out there. And so, you have to understand that Babylon is a place of great pride. And, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden, when you understand Adam and Eve, it was Eve who let pride get in the way of real wisdom. And that real wisdom was to obey the laws and the commands of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that was given, our Lord Yahweh, on down to Adam, which Adam was really Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai was Adam. And so she didn't take heed to what her husband told her, And so being she didn't take heed, she let pride get in the way. And, what has it done? It brought forth shame. Let me get that. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 2. When pride cometh, then comes shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. So those who are lowly attain wisdom. When you're prideful, you can't be told nothing. And a lot of, and in these cases with these women here in Babylon, you can't tell them anything because they're too prideful. I had to take my mom to to run some errands, but I'm sitting here and I'm looking at some of these women walking by, and you can just see the proudness that they have in their faces. I got this good cushy job. I'm good. I got a nice car, a nice home or a nice apartment to go home to. I ain't worried about, nothing. All I got to do is just, I'm good. They're in that spirit, and that's part of this pridefulness. But all of it comes from Esau, man, because Esau's the most prideful, of them all. So she has taken on the traits of Esau. And then you got Esau, who pushes the Queen of Heaven's spirit over here in Babylon, which is AKA America, which America means bitter. And this is a bitter place to be in, especially if you're a man of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. This is why we want to get up out of here. We're tired of this place, This place regards women over men. When at the end of the day, we know that the men are the prize. Talking about the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because once he elevates his men, these women with these prideful attitudes, they're going to see it. But see, the thing, what they fail to realize is the fashion of this world is going away. Let me get that right quick. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Yeah, so, these women, they abuse it. They abuse this world. They take advantage of whatever Esau give them out. And it's starting to turn, the tide is starting to turn for a lot of you women out there, because a lot of you women, not talking about the women that have turned their lives around and come back to Yahweh Shem Shai, not talking about you, because the Lord's going to always reserve some women to be in the right mindset, but the majority of these women out here, they're not in the right mindset, so they're abusing the world. They a lot of these women, especially the women of the tribe. I was listening to one of the brothers last night, or it might have been the night, well, it might have been last night. The brother was saying that the majority of the women who apply for these college loans and things of that nature are from the tribes, mainly the so-called black women. They get these loans and they start these courses, but they never finish them. So all that money that they used, they abused it. That's an example of abusing it. So they're using certain things and they're using certain resources that Esau has given them and abusing them. Just like this woman here not too long ago, she got a crazy amount of food stamps, and so she went and bought a bunch of junk food, and she's on whatever platform she's on, and she's on her platform basically bragging about what all she got for her and her kids, right? And instead of you saying, well, hey, this must be a mistake, I got way too many than I was supposed to get, that's an example of abusing the world. And we don't want to be in that spirit. We want to use the world to do what we need to do, but we don't want to abuse it. And these women, that's what they're doing right now. They're abusing whatever privileges and things that they're getting right now. They're abusing it, and still complaining that, they're getting the short end of the stick, and then they wonder why Jake don't want to approach Eve, and then they'll say, well, oh, he's gay. No, what it is Jake don't want to deal with you because, a lot of you women are not approachable. You're not friendly, to a extent to where a man would want to say anything to you, because a lot of times you're so disrespectful, and so reason why you're in that spirit of being disrespectful is because you're prideful. A woman is supposed to be lowly, humble, meek-hearted, shamefaced. She shouldn't be someone who out talks a man, or tries to disrespect him or talk about him or what have you. And a lot of times this is what you see on these shows. I know a lot of times on my timeline on YouTube, there's the show called Pop the Balloon, and these women are really just going in on these men, talking, which look, man, Jake got his flaws. I'm not saying Jake ain't, but what I'm saying is a lot of times these women are so picky and so this and that, to the point to where, it's like, man, what's the point in trying to talk to these women, because you're just really wasting your time, being insulted, it's just a waste of time. And then at the same time, you're picky, you're petty. But see, again, a great shame is going to come on you prideful women, man. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 5. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So you women who have that prideful attitude, you're an abomination to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, which means He is or He exists. And then you have Yahushua, His Son, which means He that delivers. So you're an abomination to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. And he is talking about a man, but you can take a woman in account, because when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua speaks, he speaks to the men first. See, there's an order to this thing. See, and here in Babylon, there's no order. This is why we call it Babylon, because the scriptures refer to Babylon, because this is a place of confusion. When you have women ruling over men, I think it's Isaiah 3 and 12. Let me see if I can get that right quick. And this is it's all Esau's fault, man. Because he set this wicked kingdom up this way. And when you set it up like this is not decency and order. And Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is all about decency and order. Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. So there's proof right there that we live here in Babylon, and women rule over men. You have women who are supervisors who rule over men. You have women who are so-called CEOs or whatever that rule over men. So this is a place of confusion, man. O my people, that which lead thee, cause thee to err, and destroy the ways of thy paths. Yeah, the old ways, the old paths, which the Lord set up. He set up, that there's Yahweh, then Yahweh Son, which Yahweh is Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai answers to Yahweh. Then after Yahweh Shai, the Son, there's man. Then there's woman. Then there's the kids. So this order is not even here. This order is not like that. You got women ruling over men, and that's dysfunctional. Very dysfunctional, man. Proverbs 29 and 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. Yeah. So don't you want to be humble? Humble in spirit. You know, the last thing you need to be is prideful, because it's going to bring you to a low. The old saying, what goes up must come down. Well, that's the same thing with these women. Right now, they're going up, but some of them are going down. That's why you see you got women on their platforms, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or so on and so on, who are complaining about the cost of living, who are complaining that they're not making enough. I just was looking at something on my phone this morning where this woman was begging her ex to come back to her. And he's done moved on. He done got with him another woman, and he done moved on. He didn't, most likely she instigated the breakup, which most of these women, that's what they do. When you look at the divorce rate, they always try to figure out which one files for the divorce first. Is it the woman or it's the man? And in most cases, it's the woman that does these things. Then when she does it, she's thinking the grass is going to be greener on her end, and it's not. It's not. It goes opposite of, a lot of times the Lord can fix it to where it go opposite to the way she think it was going to go. And then she has great regret, and she's on Instagram or whatever platform that she can get on, and she's complaining, basically wanting people to feel sympathy for her because things ain't going the way she wanted to go, which was wicked for her to leave her man in the first place, But, there are women who are suffering, and it's gonna get worse out here. Right now, there's somewhat of a balance. You got some women who, matter of fact, you had a case of 300,000 women who are of the tribe, mainly, so-called black women, who are no longer in the workforce, Yeah, and then back in April, it was 106,000, I think, that had lost their federal jobs, So the Lord is starting to humble a lot of you women out there, And you women right now that are not really feeling it right now, your feet are not by the fire just yet. Just wait, because like the scriptures say, when you have pride, a big fall is about to come. So the more pridefully you are, the bigger the fall's going to be. There's another saying back in the day I used to hear all the time: the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And so those men who are lowly in spirit, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to elevate them. That's the men of the Lord. And a lot of you women are going to be searching for them, and a lot of them are going to be rejected. Some of you women who left for whatever necessary reasons, because a lot of times these women, Jake don't always have to do anything. Jake don't always, because a lot of times these women say, well, I'm leaving because you're dealing with another woman, which ain't nothing wrong with that. If she ain't dealing with another man, there's nothing wrong with that, But, these women, they want you to be all to them, all for them, which really, in reality, they really don't, because most women are attracted to men that are, got options. You know what I'm saying? But in this world we live in now, these women have options, which ain't done nothing but really defile these women. All the options you have is just making you, defiled, and that's why you're so messed up right now in the mental stages, because of that spirit that you have on you, dealing with all these different men, laying up with all these different men, But the Lord is going to elevate, you know, the men. Isaiah chapter 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Yeah. So, yeah, how about Yahweh Shai is going to elevate his men, man? And we believe that in the spirit that it's going to happen, man. We see all the other things that's going on. So, you know, the prophecies are we're seeing a lot of these prophecies being fulfilled. There's a few more that need to be fulfilled. And, you know, we believe they're going to happen. We see it in the spirit that eventually it's going to happen. We're seeing it just like right now. We're seeing it right now where a lot of you women are breaking down. You know, that feminism movement that y'all were on is not working for you no more, you know. Michael 7 and 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, Where is the Lord thy God, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai? My eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the streets. Yeah, so a lot of you women, which are going to be, you know, going to be trodden down in the mire of the streets. Basically, you women are going to be destroyed, man. You know, the more prideful you are, the bigger fall you're going to take. You know, again, what's that old saying? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And that's what's going to happen with a lot of you women. You're gonna take a hard fall because of your pride, man. There was something else I wanted to add on to it though. But yeah, man, you know, your women's pride, that pride's demon that you have on you, the Lord is he's gonna humble a lot of you women, man. You know, because again, the Lord's gonna elevate his men, and you women gonna see it because you have the spirit to want to survive, you know. But a lot of you women are gonna perish because of that mindset of being prideful. I remember something, you know, when I first started coming into the knowledge. It was one of the brothers I used to listen to was Elder Malcolm from out of the Chicago camp, GMS Chicago, and he used to say this. I remember him saying this, and it always resonated with me. He said the 2/3 of Israel mainly consists of these women. So a lot of you women are going to be destroyed, and the more and more I think about it, it resonates with me because it makes sense. Because the ratio of men to women, there's more women than there are men, you know. So a lot of you women are going to be destroyed because of that pride demon, man. And again, it's an abomination to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So it's something to very much take and consider, and you know, get away from that spirit of being prideful, man. So Lord willing, I hope and pray that this is an edifying lesson. Once again, I want to give all praises and honor and glory that's definitely due to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, B'Kakradash. Special double honors to the elders and apostles on down at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Until the next time, Lord willing, I'll say shalom.